Two rad chicks, weekly confessions, adventures, and obsessions. Good evening and welcome to Two Rad Chicks Doing Stuff. This week we are doing van life.
I am your headmistress, Deanne Love.
And I am your other mistress, Grace Hogan.
Yes, right. Well, perfect then. Yeah, we did van life.
We did van life.
I'm not going to tell you what Grace did in the bed just yet. We will keep that for later.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you're all dying to know. Let's kick off like we always do with our weekly confession.
You go first.
Me?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Does that mean yours is good?
I don't.
It's good.
Nah.
We don't share them with each other. I mean, it might slip out in conversation, but yeah. So we leave it till now. So, all right. My confession. Leading on from last week when I talked about my armpit hair, my confession is it also has to do with hair. And as you know, Grace is the one who does my hair. And my confession is that I just feel so much more fucking empowered and confident and free when I have really short hair. And I have been asking Grace for a really long time to cut my hair. So my weekly confession is that I really think that I need short hair again after so long growing. And I know it's again all that femininity, like that stuff that comes up if you've got like hairy pits or whatever, then you're dirty or you're not feminine. But for me, I really love to play. I feel really confident in the androgynous look. I feel really fresh in that.
Yeah.
And I've had so much stuff come up over my life around that, like not being pretty or not being like a pretty, flowy, sweet girl because of how I look. And the response to that is the same with the armpit hair. It's like there is no one particular look. It's not the way that you look that dictates how you feel or how you show up or how you act or behave in life. So will you cut my hair?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I'd
No
love
pressure.
to.
No pressure.
We've been, yeah.
We're getting there.
We've been talking about it
step
for a
by
while.
step. I mean, it's all kind of all gone, but I keep this like mask, this layer over the top. And do we have time? Can I share like a little insight that I had recently?
Please.
So I do lots of different kind of dance classes, and a lot of them have to do with feminine empowerment and embodiment. And a lot of the women in these classes, I mean, there's such a diversity. Like, of course, everyone looks different and looks their own beautiful self. But there's still there's this like flowy, goddessy, gorgeous, long hair, beautiful skirts, like that imagery that still exists because, yeah, for no reason, that everyone has their own personal style and choice. And I was in a ritual space and in a ceremony a few weeks ago, as I wasn't leading, but I was supporting and helping the women in this space. And as I watched them all dance and move through the space, I was like off to the side, just supporting, kind of as a witness. And I had this big wave of stuff again come over me, like, the whole like pretty girl thing, and how you have to look a certain way for people to like desire you or want to be connected to you. And I just had this full moment of like, fuck that. That is so not true, because in how I feel really confident when my hair is shorter. So, and it's just a thing. It's just like an appearance thing, but it's really about tapping into what you feel you want to do, and things change.
Yeah.
Hairs grow.
I love that about my job. I think about it a lot because I feel like it's kind of like building a castle and then knocking it down, because you cut someone's hair and then that hair's going to grow back and they're going to come back to you in 6-8 weeks time for another haircut. and it's cool. I like it because you can always create something new as well. Like, I've been cutting your hair for a while now, so I feel like we've kind of done different things throughout
a lot of
the
different stuff.
journey. But I'm looking forward to cutting your hair short, and I feel like chicks that cut their hair short are so awesome and cool. And a male client actually once told me that he, like an older guy, and he's like, why do women grow their hair long? They have such beautiful necks and they should show them off. And I was like, that's so true. Like, women do have beautiful necks. Like, I love that, you know?
That is actually...
And jawlines, like...
crazy insane, because another huge reason why I've been like... And my hair's not even long. Like, I don't know if you're watching the vid of us, but I've got... Like, it only comes to about my ears, so it's not like it hides anything, but in a way it does. And because I am, like, older now, like, I'm not 20, I'm 42, I feel like... yeah, my neck is not beautiful. My jawline is not beautiful. All those things that aging creates, like, a different shape in you, so that somehow hair would hide that. And so cutting my hair really short is also another way to, like, combat that insidious feeling of society that creeps in and that says if your body or your face or your shape has changed, that you're no longer empowered or feminine or beautiful. So... let's cut the hair.
Let's cut it. Yeah.
Cool. And what
I'm
a
excited.
cool dude that you're
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, super cool. And he was like the opposite, and he's like, guys have short hair, and he's like, their necks are not as beautiful.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I love how
It's
different
true.
humans perceive beauty and appearance, and it's really interesting. It's so cool to hear that.
I love it.
So yeah, that's my weekly confession. I am
Cool.
empowered with short hair, and it's scary. And so that's what this life is all about.
Are you scared of cutting? No.
I'm not like scared. Yeah, it's just it is a lot, and because I've had a bit of hair for a little while, it will be a big change. And all of those things that I spoke about, you know, all of those kind of fears or stories that we tell ourselves or that we get told, or we kind of have stuck to us, are there.
Yeah.
And I'm super conscious of all of that stuff. For some people, it's just a haircut, but it's a part of my being. So yeah.
Cool. Watch
it's good.
this
It's
space.
exciting. All right. Come on. Bring it on then. I feel like you made me go first because yours is.
It is. Mine is, so a friend and I were chatting about sharing naughty photos.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
Yeah, I was like, he's like, when was the last time you did something like that? And I said, I actually haven't done that since I was in a long-term relationship with an old boyfriend. And and then we've chatted about it, and it's been like a good kind of topic of conversation actually through all friendships circles. But the other day I haven't sent any naughty photos. However, I did just have a play with taking them, and it's really fun. I didn't share them with anyone, but like it's just nice like to do. And you said that it's a really cool your words were, I think, from memory, can you help me out?
Self-loving?
Self-loving, yeah.
It's very liberating.
Yeah.
It's also a beautiful way to witness yourself and appreciate your beauty, whether you send them to anyone or not.
So that was a bit of fun. And
wait, I'd like to backtrack, please, if I may. So what you're telling me in your weekly confession is you and a guy, he was saying to you, I am I want to sext you. I want to send you a sexy selfie. I'm going to reframe it from naughty to
it's
to
not naughty.
sexy or sassy, but naughty is another one of those words to like, you know, it's a bit cute, it's a bit naughty, it's a bit so sensual selfies, sexy selfies. I personally would love to have the courage to do a workshop on how to take sexy selfies.
That would be epic.
I love this topic. So I have a few questions. I'm not trying to take over your this is a deep sexy selfie is a deep conversation.
Yeah.
So he was just casually chatting to you, being like, so what do you think about the hashtag sexy selfie? Or was he saying, if I sent you one, how would you feel?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Like, I feel like he, well, after the conversation, he did send through a
dick pic?
Well, no, actually, okay, sorry. I need to give you the other half of the story. So we were having coffee and I had taken photos of myself but hadn't sent them to anyone. I actually took them to draw myself.
Oh, cool.
And
wow.
So I was like, oh, I haven't sent any, but I did have taken some recently to draw myself. And then I was like, I actually think I had an image of the drawing that I'd done on my phone, and I shared that with him because he's a close friend. I was like, oh, do you want to see this image? Because I wasn't as well. I haven't showed anyone that image because I was like, oh, it might be weird if you show someone and you don't tell them that it's you, but they kind of, it's like that's you kind of.
Right.
If you know what I mean.
So you're like, hey, do you want to see a picture of a drawing I did?
Yeah.
And it's not, it's a
selfie.
Do you know who it is? Do you know who this naked woman is? Can you tell?
Anyway, yeah. So I was a bit kind of like, I don't know if it looks like me or not. Anyway, he was like, yeah, I'll see. I'll look at it.
As if he's going to say no.
So I showed him and he was like, oh, it's really good. And he did say, he was like, oh, I think you can get away with like people not knowing. But who knows? He could have been starstruck by my naked self-drawing.
Right.
So, yeah. So I'd shown him the drawing, and then later that day he had shared a photo of himself with me with a message saying he kind of covered up.
Okay.
Like he covered up his bits, but it was still
I'm not giggling, you are.
It was still a naughty photo.
You could tell what was under the eggplant emoji. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely. Well, he was kind of like he was
posing? Like was it artistic or was it just like dick pic?
No, it was, I feel like he'd kind of spent some time, structuring the torso.
Oh, the torso.
The torso.
Right. That's not what I was structuring the eggplant. Okay.
Yeah, so he was kind of and with the message along with it was like, oh, so, now we've seen each other kind of situation, like kind of naked.
Yeah. I have so many questions. However, how did you reply?
He has a great torso, so I told him that he has a good body. Well,
great.
The image showed a
beautiful.
Yeah. So I was like,
because
you have a good.
It is very vulnerable, actually. So first of all, it's a beautiful art form to capture your own body, and then the process of like acceptance and loving and being like, yeah, this is really good. I want to share this with someone. I hope to for whatever reason, you know, to get a reaction.
Yeah.
But then when you send that risky text, anything could happen.
Yeah.
Someone could be offended, like they could not know what to say. They could turn up on your doorstep. They could, like, there's a million. So there's a sense of like there's risk in and vulnerability in sharing that. And we do hope that our bodies are appreciated and loved. I mean, I'm sure there are lots of dudes out there just sending dick pics that they haven't, you know, it's not that process at all. So don't do that. Just don't. That's not cute.
I think I feel like I'm a bit of an overthinker, and I feel like if I did send something out, it would probably have like a whole catalog of like rules and regulations.
Yeah. And then by the way, BTW, I did this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah, just kind of like a whole novel to go with it.
And then this was not really meant to be, and if you feel this way, then you should remember that. Actually, this was for my, really? So you can like, just take a photo with the intention of eliciting sensual feelings in someone else and send it to them and just leave it there.
Yeah, I feel like I could.
Is that way too out there?
No, I feel like I could do that with someone that I felt comfortable with, because someone that knew me, because I feel like they would be like, it would almost kind of be like a bit of a, I guess it is like a shock factor thing, I guess.
Yeah.
The first one anyway, if you have that relationship with someone.
And it's stimulating. Like there's that shock of like, but then there is the vulnerability of like, well, how are they going to receive this?
Yeah.
Even like how are they going to receive it when I send it to them at work? Or, you know, like do they have the time to appreciate this? There's a lot that goes into sending the sexy selfie.
I feel like that even when I'm not sending selfies, even if I'm sending like, I don't know, a good message or a song or something, and I'm like, I'll wait until the perfect time to send this.
Yeah.
And I will consider someone's schedule, like, oh yeah, they're going to be driving to work at this time. They'll enjoy this song, or
or like, oh, they're at work, I hope they don't think that because I'm sending this now, like I hope that they save it for later and they check their messages later, like they don't think, oh, why she knows that I'm at work and I'm messaging her, and it's like, oh, I don't mean to interrupt you, I hope that you get this later. And part of that, like there are some friends that I message that I hate that I have to put in that like, oh, save this for later or whatever. And it's kind of like, oh my gosh, that's so annoying. Like it's awesome when it's just, you send it and that person just knows like, I'll get to it when I can. Yeah. And it's not a stress.
I feel like that's how I, do my, this is a whole nother topic, but I guess like phone usage and things like that. Like I know that if someone, I'd much prefer to give someone my full attention. So like sometimes I won't open messages until I have the time to read and respond.
Yeah.
Because
especially
otherwise
where
I
they
forget.
can see that you've seen it. Which to me, it doesn't really matter. I mean, there's a few people, but it's like, or if you're sending a sexy selfie and they've seen it and you don't get a reply for
how long do you sweat for that? On that?
Yeah. Not that I can speak from experience doing that. However, that's what makes it so kind of vulnerable and beautiful. And I don't know. I mean, we've had a conversation about this, and like there's a whole other side to sending this stuff. And it's like being private, or what are they going to do with it?
Yeah, totally.
And so it's like with people that you trust. And you know that you're kind of safe with. Okay, so did that spark you? Like I know that you took photos for your own art, but have you been like, oh, this is kind of, maybe I've got some time to myself, I might just take some selfies?
Yeah, well, at this particular time this week, was it this week? Yes, it was this week. And I live alone, so I often get around the place in the nude or with very little clothing on, and I was getting ready for work and I was brushing my teeth.
Can happen anytime.
I just had jeans on, but I was topless, and I was like brushing my teeth in the mirror, and I had music playing, and it just felt so like, it felt so good. And it's actually a little video, but it's like, it's not photos, but a little video. And I've watched it a lot actually.
Yes, it's incredible to witness your own body.
Oh, this
is a powerful practice.
And it just felt really good. And me, like it felt like I was just being me in my own body. And like, I think that is the sexiest thing ever, you know, is someone that can just be them, you know, and comfortable in their own skin movements. And it just felt, I just felt flowy and like silky. I felt like a silky person.
You are a silky person, Grace. It's such a beautiful thing. And I think it's definitely a self-love practice. It's a self-appreciation and acceptance. And I think we can all go through stuff, like whether it's it might not necessarily be, negativity around our bodies, but just sometimes we're just too busy to appreciate it, or sometimes we're just clothed all the time, or we don't stand in front of the mirror with our top off brushing our teeth, or or we don't take the time to watch ourselves on video. And it's actually such a liberating, such a kind of captivating experience. It's your body. It's the only body that you're going to have this lifetime. So it's truly incredible to feel all of the feelings, to feel silky or to feel a little like nervous or overstimulated or whatever, to tap into those feelings. I think it should be a daily practice, even if it's for 5 seconds or, 1 minute or whatever. So, all right. So, did you send a sexy selfie back?
No, I
didn't. Do you want to?
I don't feel like I need to. I don't want to. Like, I mean, in this moment, or,
like it didn't elicit that response. It's not like, oh, you send me a,
no. I mean, I feel like if I wanted to, like I could if I wanted to, but I just feel like I don't need to. And like, I feel like it's a friendship for me. And I feel like I don't need to go there. I don't need to make that more than what it is, because I really love it as it is.
Yes.
And, I actually really, it's really nice. I feel like I could do that, but I wouldn't want to encourage anything more than what our relationship is now. And I feel like that could just be misleading. And
yeah, absolutely. And it totally, like, it's our body and our, totally our decision. It brings up whole other conversation about where you, how you kind of communicate and share, and what you share with friends, and then how that's perceived, and communication, and sexy selfie tag. Well, that was do you have anything else to say about the whole?
No.
Any other revelations?
No. But I was brushing my teeth, so like it's so easy to do.
Yes. You don't have to like buy the lingerie, light the candles, set up the backdrop, put down the fake fur, like learn how to twerk. I don't know.
I had literally a toothbrush in one hand and my phone in the other. And it's like blurry as hell because I'm kind of like swaying with the music that's playing, and it's like, but I like that about it too.
Yeah. And it's real. And it also brings up this conversation about the perception of what is sexy, what is sensual, what is a turn on. And, we have, again, all of these societies, like images of what a sexy woman is, or, in porn, or in, I don't know, music clips, like what a hot woman is supposed to do and act like. And actually they're all pretty messed up. Then they may be sexy to some people, but that is just like, yeah, toothbrush in hand, rocking out, blurry as fuck.
Being sexy.
Yeah, so our question to you this week is, what is sexy to you?
Yeah, that's a good question.
It's something to think about, and it can change on any given day. You can feel, and the more you're devoted and practiced to feeling into your own pleasure or your perception of sexy, you can find it in so many things.
Yeah.
Like when I went to Nimbin, just everything smelled like sex. Okay, so moving right along, speaking about van life.
Van life. It was so much fun. I had heaps of fun.
Oh, we had the best time. All right, so a blow by blow. What happened? So we ended up going.
Okay. We were late.
Yes. Right.
pick
So
up the
we
van.
hired the van last minute because after Nimbin, Grace got really sick. And then I started to get sick.
Yeah.
And so last minute we were like, yeah, we're getting the van. It's happening. There's a place in Byron Bay, which is how far from our house?
Byron is like an hour drive. No, probably not even.
Cool. We
Just
made
under
it. We didn't drive past the turnoff, which we often do because we're talking too much. This time we took the turnoff, but we were still many hours late, but that was fine. We got the van.
And
it was pretty epic.
We
spent a long time, honestly, just on the side of the road at the front of the van hire, just like
we did, indulging
excited.
in all of the things. We put all our things in the van. They fit. There was heaps of room. There was fans and a sink, and it was pretty cool just checking out like the sitch.
Yeah, all the bits and pieces.
And figuring out how it works. It was a manual too. I haven't driven a manual in ages.
Yeah. It's good.
It was real fun.
It was pretty cool.
So
once we decided, this is the house that we love, we're ready. We checked out how to get to Yamba, which is pretty easy. But another 2 hours? A 2-hour drive it was going to be?
2 hours, yeah.
Okay. So then we're on the road.
Yeah. Yep.
Seatbelts on. We had everything ready.
Snacks.
Playlist. It was great. And we made a video. So hopefully you can also see the video. We'll somehow, I don't know, link it somewhere.
Merge it.
Wherever all good podcast videos are shared. YouTube. And so we're on the road and
we stopped at Woodburn and checked out an antique.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Shop.
That Grace was almost bought a chair. She wanted to buy a cane chair.
Oh, that was so cool. There was 2 of them.
Yeah. And I really wanted to buy this cool 80s jumper. But I didn't. Grace was like, nah, it's acrylic. That's gross.
Yeah.
And I've been thinking about that ever since. The
Oh,
jumper
really?
and the acrylic
Have
thing.
I turned you?
Yeah. Only natural, beautiful fibers. Wait, yeah. Then we got back in the van after we stopped, and
that's right.
Grace turned the key in the ignition and the van wouldn't start.
It wasn't turning on.
And we were like,
I tried a few times.
This is van life. We're already stranded on the side of the road. And we're like, oh, what are we going to do? Okay, well, clearly we're just not meant to, the universe is saying we're not meant to do van life. So Grace was trying a few times, and then I went to call the lady, like a bit frantic, call the hire place. And I'm like, when she picked up the phone, it was just kind of all weird, and then I couldn't understand what was going on. And it's like she hung up in my ear, and I was like, what? Oh, I didn't understand what was happening. And so I was just, I don't know. I just intuitively, after we kind of got into a bit of a fluster, oh, no, because you were going to go and
there was a police station and that was like just up the road, not far. And I was like, oh, we'll just go ask the friendly policeman to help us out.
So 2 rad chicks. Our car's broken down, or our van life is broken down already. And you were just about to, I thought, oh, maybe we could ask like some old guy if he's got.
Yeah, there was plenty of
leads.
like there was a pub in town. I'm sure we could have found someone to help us out.
But I was like, wait. I'll just jump in and just see if I can start it. Like as if I have some kind of magical mechanical skills. No, I do not. And it started.
Yeah.
We were like, okay, just keep it running. Probably not the best thing to do.
It was like watching a magic trick because I feel like, yeah, you turned it on.
I'm not going to make a joke about that, but I turned it on and then it went and we were like, woo, van life. So Grace got back in behind the wheel and turned up the tunes and away we went. It was such a gorgeous day, actually.
It was
really
beautiful. Yeah. And then we arrived in Yamba and we went and got some groceries because we decided that we needed to do van life, like a real van life crew, you know?
Yeah, not like eating pizza and getting takeout and so
we stopped and got some groceries and we made
wine.
And the plan was to make soup, which we did. It was actually really good. We ran out of gas actually trying to cook our soup, which is a van life problem that you could come across.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So gas as in the gas stove, not
Yes.
gas as in the petrol.
Yeah, gas stove.
Would have not surprised me. But yeah, I thought we were doing so well. We chopped up all the veggies and the sun was going down. And it was gorgeous. And Grace bumped into like this really interesting dude who was next to us.
Yeah, surfer dude
who had a great van as well. And
he had a sick setup.
So cool. So we're like making friends and, you know, the sun was going down and we chopped the veggies. We had a glass of wine. Everything was just going perfect. And then the gas ran out. But the soup, I mean, it's cool.
It
Raw
was pretty
vegan.
good. Thankfully, like the stuff that needed to be cooked was kind of already cooked. And then we just threw in the broccoli hoping that it would steam in the hotness that was left. And it worked. And
it was good.
Yeah, it was a little like not super crunchy, but like a good amount.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. We were so
and it
stoked
tasted
and
really
happy.
good. Yeah.
That was probably one of my favorite parts. Just like
I enjoyed that.
making the food and kind of sitting on the floor in the back of the van and just like, you know, chilling out. We're like, wow, we made it. And I guess it was the gas running out and that kind of stuff happening. It was about that point where I was like, you know, you just got to make the most of every van life sitch.
Yeah.
You know, because like things could have gone a whole lot worse. For example, when we were in town, I mean, you always have to look on the bright side. We ran out of gas. That's fine. We had to have crunchy broccoli. But when we were in town, we were getting so excited and we were like, oh, we should check if we've got a knife. We should do this. And Grace pulled into a car park and we both got out of the car and the park was on a little bit of a hill, but you know, it wasn't
extreme
hill. It was a big hill. It was a hill. We were parked on a hill and we both just jumped out. Grace jumped out of the driver's seat. I jumped out and we went around to the side door and opened up the door and we were in the kitchen and I don't know at what point
we were checking for supplies. I think we were checking, we were checking for what we had and what we needed to get, basically.
Yeah, like we were really immersed in van life. You know, we weren't thinking about being safe or potential hazards. And
then there was some noises that happened that was like kind of like in Titanic when the boat is about to sink and there's all these like
and it was a bit like Titanic, to be honest. Great analogy.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we kind of were like, we just both ignored the first big screeching sound. We're like, oh, we'll just keep rummaging. You know, should we have burgers? Should we drink the wine now? What should we do? Maybe it was like the second lurching sound that we kind of looked at each other like.
Yeah. And Deanne was just like, I feel like Deanne was like a bit of a superhero this whole trip, really. Like the whole starting meeting. She saved us. She saved our lives and probably others. After the second kind of screech, Deanne was like, is the car in neutral or in gear? And I was like, oh, Actually, it's in neutral. And so Deanne fire rocket bolts from the back of the van into the driver's seat and puts it into gear. So
it was good. It's like, when the human body perceives danger and it kicks into like, Iron Man action.
Yeah.
It's
like adrenaline.
Uninjured, dashed into the driver's seat and put it into gear. And the car stopped screeching and back we went to checking out the kitchen.
100%
after like
safe.
laughing for about 3 hours, which I'm pretty like the whole time I feel like we just laughed.
We laughed a lot.
The whole time. So we did not the van did not roll down the street into the town, crashing into all the cafes and other cars or humans. It almost did. So that was good. The gas running out, the dinner could have been gross, but we were amazing. And then the sun went down and we were kind of like,
sunset was real pretty.
Oh my gosh, it was gorgeous. So gorgeous.
Yeah. Like really, I love it when it was like a really, dark blue kind of.
Yeah.
And then that fiery orange coming through.
So amazing. And because the moon was at half, it was a half moon, right? So it was just gorgeous.
It was real pretty.
But then we were like, okay, well, the sun's gone down. Now what the fuck do we do? We've eaten the food. The gas has run out. There's no one around. All the surfer dudes have left. What do people do for van life? So we're like, well, I guess they just sleep. And then the big question was, where do we sleep? I mean, in the back of the van. I get that bit. However, in Australia, it is illegal. There's signs everywhere saying, like, any
especially
car park,
in the East Coast, like it's such a beautiful place.
Gorgeous.
Or, to travel along. But I guess all the councils are like, no. Because everyone would live here. Otherwise, everyone would be living in their vans here.
Everyone. Like even people that could afford to live in houses would be like, van life, let's just go and sleep on the beach all the time. So I get it. We get it. However, we were just like, we could have, paid money to stay in a van park, but I feel like we were trying to do this authenticity.
Yeah, like
real van life.
So we went for a drive. We went for a drive around in the dark to see if we could find any, kind of secluded places that might have not had a sign that said you couldn't camp there. And
we came to that one spot that was really cool, and there was like this massive sign and it was so cool. It said like open fires and camping, and I was so excited. I was like, oh yeah, and there's no one here and this is totally it. And then as we got a little bit closer, behind the tree said prohibited. So it was like definitely not allowed to camp there, but we still considered it. We were like driving around there for a little bit.
It was a bit sus, I think that. I'm glad we didn't stay.
I know. Either the river would have like come up
washed us away.
Yeah, or the people in the and then it was like pitch black. Grace may or may not have, don't tell the van hire this, ran into the side of the hill, which also sent us into fits of laughter.
It just came out of nowhere.
It honestly did. I mean, I didn't see it. But second time of the day where the van made a Titanic lurching sound. It was pretty epic. So by this point, we were pretty tired, and is that when we just decided to go back to where we came from?
Yeah, we did find another place that we could have stayed at. It did feel real creepy though. It was kind of like a dirt crop circle.
Oh, yeah.
And there was 2 other people camping there.
Yes.
And it just felt kind of sus, like.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. Well, there were no signs up, but maybe that is a sign not to stay there.
I felt that.
It's like you may or may not
wake up alive.
Yeah, go through the night. So then we went back to where we cooked our dinner, which was really beautiful, but it was clearly signed that you cannot sleep there between like midnight and 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Which just kind of stops people from, just
sleeping the night.
living in their vans everywhere.
Then we decided we'd flip a coin. We were like, because we still weren't certain, like sold or set. Because I guess it's just that feeling of like, oh, we're doing the wrong thing. If we get caught, this is the consequences. Are we prepared to live with that, basically?
Yeah.
And so when I get stuck in those kind of situations, I always like to flip a coin because I feel like flipping a coin can help you make your choice. Because if you get what you say, you flip the coin and it's the outcome is what you wanted, then awesome. It kind of just gives you like permission to like roll with that. But then if it doesn't kind of work with what you want, it kind of sets you up for like, well, actually, no, I really do want
I love that. I love that. Like, it's still your true feeling.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
even if the coin says, but you're like, oh, shit, that's not actually what I want to do. That's when you know your truth.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I like it. It helps me out sometimes.
I, on the other hand, had a massive black obsidian rock pendulum.
Yes.
That I was like, you swing it and you find which is yes, and then you ask it which is no. And you never really know. I mean, a coin, at least heads is heads, tails is tails. With a pendulum, a crystal pendulum, you got to have full faith and understanding that you're not completely crackers and crazy. And that, yes, actually, if it swings this way and you have asked the crystal, then that is yes. And if it swings that way, and that it's not you being like, should I eat chocolate cake? that the crystal is telling you. However, it's also kind of the same because it is
cool
you
tool.
making, it's like muscle testing in, say, kinesiology or something. It is you and in co-creation with the crystal and all of universe and the cosmos, creating the yes or the no.
Yeah, it's so cool.
You know what your truth is, and if you can't consciously or like logically or whatever, it's in you, it's in your body. However, we still didn't know.
We were torn. We were so torn. And we were kind of getting tired. Well, I was getting tired.
Yeah.
And I was just like getting to that place of like, it's just like,
does it really matter?
I'm done with caring.
And so what? Like if we park here, there was no one else around. If we park here, we're not really doing anything bad. We know that we're like technically breaking the law. And I guess it's like that. For me, that's when the analogy kicked in of like van life is like all of life. There's these perceived fears that are on the outside of the van, right? So we were perceiving that, well, if we stayed in the crop circle, then we'd be murdered by the serial killers. That may or may not have happened. If we parked where it said not to park, technically, even though we were really not doing anything wrong, we're going to be there for a short time, then the council may or may not come. And we were scared of that. We were scared of the fine. We were scared of all these things that were happening that were just in our imagination outside of us. And so we kind of couldn't settle on a decision because of all those perceived fears. And that is in life as well. When you're really like confused or you're like, oh, but this might happen or maybe they'll say this or this.
It's so true.
We don't, all these perceived fears outside of the van.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it kind of made me realize too, I'm like, van life is probably not as easy as it is perceived as well. Because that, people that are doing this, for long periods of time, they would probably go through this every single night before they go to bed, like, oh, where are we sleeping tonight? Like,
do you think that you'd have to kind of like soften your fear of authority and just be like, whatever?
I actually spoke to one of the girls at work who, a couple of them, will occasionally go and do van life with their boyfriends on the weekends. And she was saying kind of like you either need to get like I think there's like real, tactics that you use. And so she was like, one of their tactics is like get there early, spend all day there and just walk from wherever you've parked and like so you kind of just look like you've been you're melting in there and maybe, you know.
You're part of the furniture.
Yeah. And then kind of, I mean, that's kind of more, I think that was at Noosa she was saying. And so, you know, if you get there early or you park in like suburbia and kind
I've
of
heard that.
and walk from there and just kind of come back at night when you're ready to go to sleep, basically. Kind of just spend your whole day out exploring and adventuring and then just only come back to
your bed.
sleep. Yeah.
It's I mean, if you're in suburbia and you're just like cooking your broccoli soup out the front of someone's house.
Yeah, that might look a bit sus, hey?
Yeah, they're like, clearly they've moved in too, and they're not paying rates. There's survival tactics. I think I think we can both say that we weren't very prepared. It was a spontaneous, exciting idea, but we didn't really research where to stay or what to do.
I'd actually like to do it again. Because when we were looking, we were like, oh no, maybe we should do it properly. And then we actually did find this cool looking place that you can camp out at, you know, but it was going to be like a 40-minute drive or something. Yeah. And at this point we were already like, no, it's too late.
Yeah, I think if you plan out. I loved though that we were just like, we're just going to rock up to this destination and see what happens. Yeah. Like that's a huge part of just being spontaneous.
Yeah, totally.
And also we weren't in the middle of nowhere. We weren't unsafe. Truly.
And we had each other, which
apart from the van rolling down the hill. But that, you know, or into a hill. But that was like, we were safe. We had each other. We spoke many times because I have had so many friends over the years who have been single women who have lived in vans either in cities or traveling around Australia.
I didn't even know that happened when you told me that. I was like, what? In the city? Like,
yeah. I mean, for some of the cities in Australia and I'm sure around the world, it is expensive if you're a single creative or artist and you don't have a fixed income. A van is an option and they're living in their vans. And for me, that brings up a whole range of like, where do you pee in the morning?
Yeah.
Unless you're getting...
You just go get your coffee and wee at the cafe?
Yes. Well, yeah, one friend does that. Some other friends park in... other friends kind of, which is not really van life. It's kind of like you're their flatmate, but you're in a van in their driveway. And but it's also safety. And I have had a few girlfriends who are doing this on their own talk about different safety issues and just not like. And didn't you have a dream? Like your brain must have been infiltrated.
Yes, I had a dream that the ranger came and it was kind of scary. Like we were in the car park and he was kind of circling the van and but he was kind of like a baddie. Like I feel like I mean it's so like kind of fragmented, but I feel like he had a weapon of some kind and like
oh my gosh.
Yeah, like
because you kind of feel like you're in, and I felt like this in a tent before as well. You don't really know what's going. Like if you hear
you don't know
sounds,
what's going on outside.
You can't see things around you. So you kind of. I feel like I'm captive in this like Shark Tank kind of situation, which I know, overactive imagination. Nothing happened to us.
No.
We woke up, although I hardly slept.
I was snoring.
Grace was having terror dreams about the ranger with a weapon that was going to come and get us. And I couldn't sleep because I kept thinking, well, if I fall asleep, they're just going to knock on the door and say we have to get up and give us a fine. And that's just going to be really inconvenient. So I did sleep a little, but I'm not going to say that. I have done other van lives where I was like living in the van park and I slept so beautifully. It was because I felt it again is that safety net, like where you know that you're secure. Nothing different. It was like we parked a van on a piece of land in Australia, and one piece of land brings up all of this insecurity, and another piece of land gives you safety and security. So van life brought up so much. When we woke up in the morning, so I think I woke up really early to pee, but the sun was coming up and I went out and it had been raining by that stage. So we were kind of like, oh my gosh. I fully expected to walk to the front of the van and just see like a fine.
Yeah. And?
it wasn't there. And I was so stoked. I was like, we made it. And because the sign said you couldn't sleep between like midnight and 5, and it was about 5:20 or something when I woke up, and there was no, so I was like, we're safe. We're allowed to be here from now. They can't come and get us.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So good. We didn't get caught.
So my question to Grace was, what did you learn? What was the thing that kind of came up from van life?
And my response was,
we did the wrong thing, but it didn't matter.
But we got away with it. Yeah.
So I was as I said, it was totally fine as long as if it's for your own pleasure, you can break the law.
Yeah. Fine.
Yeah, I'm in agreement.
It's you. You can do what you want.
Having said that, we did not harm, hurt, mangle, or do anything to any living creature, plant, or ourselves or anyone else.
Yeah.
So the law was broken to a very small degree.
Definitely.
Yeah. Would you do it again?
Yeah, I'd do it again. I feel like I might do a few things differently if I was going to do it again. Mm-hmm. Like it probably would be nice just to go and find a cool van park or, and just to have that safety feeling and
totally.
You can sleep then. You can sleep easy.
Yes. And still wake up and, see the sunset and sunrise and all those things that I think being outside and being in nature and being really free is a part of van life. Our first experience together with van life was we were really much more connected to, we did see beautiful things, gorgeous things, but we were a bit more connected to like, what could go wrong, or should we be doing this, or is this right, or is this van life, or are we getting this right? I would love to do it maybe for a little bit longer and have be more self-sufficient.
Yeah, totally.
And have food and cook it, because that ceremony was really, that was the part that
was
I
epic.
Really loved.
Yeah, I liked that too. It was nice.
Yeah. And the driving was really fun.
The drive down's really beautiful.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. And Grace drove the whole way, which was a really new thing for me because often I am in control. I like to be the one driving. I felt safe with her 99% of the time.
That's a lot. That's a big percentage because I feel like there was some times where
I shouldn't have felt safe.
We were just laughing way too hard, and that meant my body was just gyrating while holding a steering
100 kilometers down the highway in a van with a bed in the back of it. Yeah, it was pretty funny. I was laughing so hard too, so I didn't realize how dangerous it was. So don't be doing that. If you're doing van life, please keep your hands on the wheel and your eyes on the road, and don't laugh so hard that you spit water through your nose and your mouth onto the window that you think is wound down. Probably best to just, cool down. It was very hilarious, and
we went geocaching as well the next day before we headed home. We went and found a geocache.
We did via the app. The cool part about that was, do you remember?
So the day before we were at this lookout and near the lighthouse in Yamba, which is a beautiful spot. So scenic. And we were hanging out there the day before. And then when we looked up to go geocaching the next day, there was a treasure exactly where we were the day before. So that was really cool.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So amazing.
We could have found this
the exact same spot. Grace was like, we have to go see. There's these really beautiful rock formations and the lighthouse. And Grace was doing all these cartwheels and just being really van life, just freedom to have some space to just do whatever, do nothing. And then, it was the exact location on these incredible cliffs with the ocean. And it was kind of does that happen a lot in life? Maybe we're really close to something, or we're circling something, or we've been in that situation or whatever. And it's sometimes all of the things don't align, or we don't really know exactly what we're looking for. But when we make those decisions, or we're we know or we've been there, or
It's a nice
we intuitively
that is, yeah.
understood, we know what to do. And it's all there for us already. Maybe we just have to ask for it or look for it or say yes to it, but it's all there.
Yeah.
So that was pretty special. That was an amazing,
That was
cool thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, we will be doing van life. Maybe next time. Grace did say that it's going to take us 2 years to get to Uluru, which is the centre of Australia. It normally takes people, I think it's a 35-hour drive from where we live.
Really,
so
35
2
hours
years is a long time. We're really going to have to come up with some kind of
we need to get a
nest egg.
government grant
Yes.
to fund it.
Yes. So all of those people in the government who are listening to this podcast, please fund us to go. It will be hilarious. We're going to Uluru. It won't take 2 years.
No way. We can do it in 35 hours. Cool.
Anything else on van life?
No, I think I think we touched on everything
Super
fun and amazing.
cool. I'm sure there were other things. You have to watch our video as well.
Yeah.
We laugh every time we watch it. I hope that you think it's funny too.
Yeah.
What
Songs
are your weekly obsessions?
Okay, I'm going to share them with you this week. My weekly obsessions are. Let me
So
just
Grace
find them.
will often send me songs during the day or during whenever. She doesn't care about my schedule.
I don't.
I'm not one of those people that she thinks, will this person be doing something important? Because generally I'm not. So it's totally fine for her to send me things anytime. And I get lots of really cool. Sometimes I listen to them straight away, but I actually prefer to then take them and put them loud or I can really immerse myself in the song because it's so important to me.
I feel the same way.
And sometimes a few of them you've sent me and I'm like, yeah, cool, a song, I'll save it for later. And then when I get to it, I'm like, holy shit. I'm glad I saved it for the moment to really, because sometimes on your phone and you just listen to half of it and you don't get the full experience.
Yeah.
Anyway, I take my music Spotify
Me
playlist
too.
very,
Seriously.
very seriously.
Yeah.
All right, hit us.
Okay, so this song I actually found just before we went on van life, so I feel like it was a bit of a theme song for van life, Yamba. It is called Nervous by Bad Not Good. It's their new single, and it's so silky and sexy and delicious. It's so good.
It is so very good. It is so good that Grace has sung the first line of the lyrics over and over and over again. So we want you to go to Spotify, not sponsored by Spotify yet, and listen to it, and you'll know why, because it's just that.
It's so good.
I feel like you should sing it.
No,
You've sung it so many times.
No, I love the lyrics because the lyrics are actually I feel like the lyrics are cigarettes make me nervous, which I think is really funny, but it's because it's such a silky song that it just kind of, I feel like you could sing any lyrics to it. And it's work.
It is very yummy.
So that's what I've been obsessing over this week. And also another song by an artist called Everything. It's called Put Me Together. And I am digging it a lot. I dig that whole album actually.
Similar?
It is kind of similar. I like it. It's
silky?
kind of it's not as silky, but it is. The lyrics to that one is really good too. I feel like what I get from it is when I listen to the lyrics, it kind of talks about, from what I get from it is that they're talking about watching people live kind of mundane lives. And there's a lyric that's what is it? It's it's something like They're Not Like Us or something. Which I can kind of relate to because I feel like I've always said like that's not something I want to be or become, is something, you know, have this regimented life.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, structure is good, but
Yeah.
I just never want to be in this like situation where I go to work, come home, watch TV, eat, go to bed, wake up, go to work. Like that doesn't interest me. I need to be like creating and like,
Yeah. You're uber creative.
yeah.
It just wouldn't. I don't think you'd allow that to happen anyway.
No.
Just wouldn't.
Never.
Couldn't explode.
Tell me yours.
All right. So my first song, it's a little bit like the Billie Eilish song. It's not like, it doesn't sound like it. It's got that same kind of priestess essence. Like it's pretty fierce, and it's called Goddess by Banks. I would look it up. It's pretty chilled. Like I have to say, my music taste, I mean, I've always had a pretty diverse music taste, but my music taste is really like these days super, silky, a bit more like down and chilled. No pumping gay party anthems, unfortunately. Don't get me wrong, I still love them. However, my second song is a bossa nova version of Lady Gaga's Bad Romance that came on a playlist that Musa was playing because he will often listen to like a kind of bossa nova style. And they're like bossa nova, what do you call it? What is it when covers?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, covers. And this one is by Marcella. I don't even know how to say her last name. Mangabera. Okay, so think Lady Gaga, Bad Romance, you know, the rah, that kind of, and like how fierce that was. And it was actually our wedding song, Musa and my wedding song, and an opera singer sung it as I danced down the aisle, and Musa waited for me. And the other day when it came on, we were just like, you know, having a coffee or whatever, and we danced to the whole song together because it was hilarious.
Cute.
And it's actually really
I
it's
want to
super
listen
cheesy
to it now.
and weird. And so I love it.
Cute.
It came on, I put it on my pleasure playlist as well, and it came on. I wouldn't call it sexy.
Okay.
It's quite hilarious. But anyways, so that is my second song of the week, my weekly obsession.
I love it. I don't think, have you shared this one with me?
Yeah.
You have?
No, I haven't. I'll share it with you. I'll share them both. I'll send them through. Do you know what? We didn't talk about what we're going to do next week.
Yeah, so next week we are going to Dr. Sketchy's, which is a sketching, live drawing art workshop, I guess.
Yeah,
you
Dr.
know more about it than I do.
is an anti-art school. So it was created by, and her name is completely slipped my mind. I'm so sorry. It was created in New York many years ago as an alternative to live drawing, but with that same essence, but having performers and just giving it a bit more of a like funky vibe where there'd be alcohol and food and just like a whole gathering around
Atmos. Sketching, drawing.
And for many years, Musa and I sponsored the Tokyo Dr. Sketchies, and so we would go every time. It was in a venue called the Pink Cow, I think it was, which was kind of like a club and art space. And yeah, I have been a model at Dr. Sketchies. So when I saw
so cool.
that it was coming to town. It was coming to the Northern Rivers, which doesn't happen a lot for something that, you know, these big kind of events. A woman who has done a lot of work in a place, or she owns a place called the Strumpet in Victoria, has moved up. So I was like, Grace, you have to go, because Grace, well, you talked about it earlier, takes photos of herself nude.
Not
and
all the
draws
time.
them.
That was a one-time thing.
Such a cool process.
Yeah, it's fun. I just admire bodies, I think. They're so beautiful. Like so beautiful.
Incredibly beautiful. And so I personally I'm not a sketcher. Having been a part of the Dr. Sketchies for so long, I never actually sketched anything.
What? I can't believe that.
So, yeah, I think I have a little bit of a phobia.
What was, when you say you sponsored it, what was your, like, what did you guys do?
At the time we ran, we had our own company called Tokyo Made that supported artists who were living in and around Tokyo, and we ran an online shop where we would support them and sell their pieces, sell their one-off pieces to people around the world.
That's so cool.
So that was our job back then, and I was just getting into hula hooping at the time, and so we would so each week or each time Dr. Sketchies was on, we would offer up prizes or sponsor like the drinks or pay for it based on, from our company, from either Tokyo Made or Hoop Lovers, because it was such an incredible mix of awesome people, and some of our friends were really into it, and it was just a great way to catch up with everyone. But I never sketched. So
cool. First timer.
All right, so that's what we're going to do. So you can come along with us to Dr. Sketchies and see Grace's amazing. I'm sure it's going to be amazing because you're just incredible at everything. But we'll wait and see. I don't know.
We'll see.
All right. We are out. Don't forget to listen to our songs and take sexy selfies of yourself and confess something really beautiful to a friend, because they will love and cherish you for it. And do something that you haven't done before.
Yeah. Do it.
All right.
Cool.
We are out. See you next week.
Bye.